Welcome back, guys, to the Coins and Connections podcast. This is your girl, Cinquanta Cox-Smith, and we are going to continue to explore all things books, business, and bullshit. Let's get into today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 14. I'm so excited. We are like halfway to 20. I could not make this up, but I'm super excited. So today we are going to talk about doubt in family and business. And I am going to start with the quote. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. So one thing that I've learned is nowadays you just have to do it. Like, you can't think about it. You just have to do it. You don't have to wait on anyone's permission or approval to do the things you want to do. Just simply do it. And I know that may be harder to actually do. And I'm saying it like, oh, you got this, you can do it. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's extremely hard. But you have to put all of that doubt out of your mind and just do it. And my homegirl Marquita would say, do it fucking scared. So shout out to you, Marquita, in your business. So once you've conquered it, whatever it is, and you've gotten to a place that you feel you're comfortable and you're ready to share it, and then you can share with whoever you want to share. Like me right now, like basically my podcast. I did it. I just did it. I didn't think about it. I just was like, okay, I'm gonna order this mic. Mic came, probably sat in the container for like a week, and I'm just like, what am I waiting on? I need to just do this. So I did it, and I didn't share it, but people were listening. I don't know how they found me. I don't know how they stumbled upon my podcast, but they were listening. And until I was basically prepared to launch and share with the world, I also added it to my website. But it was like, you know how you just slide something in and not really announce it. So if people were to listen to my podcast via my website, that's amazing. Because again, I didn't announce it, and I still haven't announced it to my entire audience because I haven't really shared it to my email list. I still haven't emailed them. And I'm going to email them at the end of this month, hopefully. Hold me to that. But if I would have just sat on this, I would never be here with 14 episodes in. And I have gotten so many responses about the podcast. And I thank you guys for listening and for subscribing and taking action after listening. That is like the reward for me. Like when you take action after listening, I love that. So I've become a doer now. I'm more of a doer and no longer a dreamer and just sitting here dreaming about all the things I want to do. I'm just doing it, not thinking about it. Again, just going to just go ahead and get it done. I'm taking action and I have my plans and I'm getting shit done. So do it and then shock yourself. So now I'm going to leave this little segment about doubt with another quote. Inhale confidence, exhale doubt. So I get asked a lot, how did you start your podcast? Where do I begin? How can I start a podcast? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. You know, I'm down with the free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like, ain't nobody listening yet and you making money. How dope is that? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So what are you waiting on? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So as we move forward with this episode, we're going to dive into family and business. So you may be thinking, okay, what are we going to talk about? But I know that most of us are parents, wives, husbands, girlfriends, boyfriends, and fiancés. And we also run businesses, but we also have to take care of our families. So most of us have quit our job or working a full-time job and have a side hustle, or you wanted to create another stream of income so that you can provide a better life for your family. And when I say take care of family, that is not limited to children or your spouse. Some of us out here are taking care of parents, and then some of us are taking care of grandparents. So we have to, I don't really want to say find that balance, but there's a different type of structure that we have, and we realize that it needs to go in effect when dealing with our business and dealing with our family. So currently, if you look at that structure, do you have boundaries set in place? Like, is there a point where you say, okay, I'm completely cutting off everything and I'm focused on work, or I'm shutting down the laptop, turning off the phone, and I'm strictly dealing with family time? Or is there a set time for family time and set time for work where you're dealing with only business things in that, time frame? So basically right now, I'm in the closet. We just had birthday dinner with my daughter. I'm in the closet on the floor recording this podcast. I don't know what the kids are doing. My husband just got home from work not too long ago. So right now, I just slipped off in the closet. I'm like, okay, I need to record this podcast because it's Thursday and I usually say Friday, so I need to get it done. So I'm in the closet handling my business, and then as soon as I'm done, I can quickly do what I need to do to get this ready and have it published for Friday's podcast. What type of structure do you have in place? Do you have little rules or little quick things that you can get done and then get back to the family? And if you want to take some time and make a list of when you deal with your business and what type of set hours you have, do that. Say for instance, you have 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Would be business hours for you, and then 5 to 7 is family time. Write that down so that you don't forget it and that you don't go over those times. Also, if you don't have set hours, you should try and make some type of productive schedule. I do know that things come up. Sometimes we want to take a quick call in the afternoon, 30 minutes or whatever, get something done. Sometimes we need to seal some deals. Do that too. It's okay if you don't stick to those times because, again, we can never predict things with the kids missing a bus, a child getting sick, a significant other getting off early from work. But even in those situations, we can set boundaries to a certain extent. So, example, hey, honey, I didn't know you were getting off early. I need about an hour to wrap up work. Okay, so then, therefore, you set that boundary. You didn't know he was getting off early. Now you need to finish your work before you can give him your full attention. You don't want to show up at his job and needing his attention when he needs work, and vice versa. So it's also a communication type thing. Okay, so it may have seemed like I was just talking to stay-at-home moms or people who have businesses, but this also can work for a full-time employee. And I think I've said that, a full-time employee who has a side hustle and who is single. So absolutely, you can set boundaries and have some type of structure, because of course, if you're single, you're probably dating, and you need to put some type of boundaries in place about, when you go out on dates, when you hit the town with your friends, how you use your time on the weekend. So you just have a different dynamic, but the structure should still be the same because again, as a single person, working full time or running multiple businesses, you want to afford and create a comfortable life for yourself. So oftentimes we may have to cut out some cuddling hours, and we start early in the morning, or we get up doing earlier in the morning and we go to sleep later at night to get things done once you have possibly eaten dinner and try to cuddle for the night. You might just creep out the bed again because you want to get some stuff done. So this is the sacrifice hours, like that early morning period. I would say anywhere between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. would be what I call the sacrifice hours. And I would say anytime possibly between after midnight and maybe 11 and somewhere between 11 to 1 a.m. Are the sacrifice hours. So this week, another thing that I had to do for myself, and I've talked to a lot of people and I feel like they've done this too, cut out the distraction, which is social media. Oh my gosh. That Facebook app, the Instagram app, Snapchat, all the filters will have me scrolling into a unlimited scroll, into a daze, into a blocking out everything around me. And then the next thing you know, hours have passed by and I'm just scrolling, double tapping, liking, kikiing, giggling, watching videos, running it back because it was so funny. And then I haven't accomplished anything I've needed to accomplish. So oftentimes I just completely delete the apps off my phone. And because I have a Facebook group, I do find myself trying to stay connected to them and making sure they are taken care of. And that's just the helper in me. So I will log on to the desktop, but then you can pretty much navigate a little bit better because every time you have to get on the desktop, you normally have to be stationed in an area. But on the phone, you can be on the phone scrolling while you're in the bathroom, sitting on the bed, laying in the bed, eating your food. Like, it's just more convenient when you're scrolling on your phone to get distracted. And I delete my apps often and I try to get more work done. So this is a weekly thing for me. Also, if you guys have any questions or recommendations on structure with family and business, is there something that works for you? Do you have a plan in place? And I would also like to say to cut out the doubt this week. It's almost the end of January, so basically anything that you have been doubting, I would say you should jump headfirst into it, get it done. Don't worry about what anybody else says and just do it. So if you have any questions for me, any comments, any suggestions for episodes, or if you want to send in a question for me to answer, you can be anonymous, or I can say your name and give you a little shout out if you want. But you can email me at hello@cinquantacoxsmith.com. My website is www.cinquantacoxsmith.com. coinsandconnections.com. You can catch me on both of my IG pages at Cinquanta Cox-Smith and at Coins and Connections. Join my Facebook group. This week we have been talking about creating coloring books, audiobooks, and workbooks and planners. So the Facebook group is Books Plus Business with Cinquanta Cox-Smith. I love you more than I love this podcast. Peace.